really appreciate your time, and I have the great privilege today to talk to you about a project that has involved a lot of us. And I enjoy coming after Melanie, and she's talking about the things that are happening in LA, which is an enormous and incredibly neat city, and in many ways is working hard to relate to people on a human scale. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do here in Roanoke. So let's see if we can start the slideshow. So what I want to talk to you today, a little bit about is, in smart growth and how smart growth works in a place like Roanoke, where the economic situation may be fragile and where the mindset may be conservative. And how do you take big ideas and make them a reality in small towns like Roanoke? So this is our Market Square, and you guys may have seen Market Square. You walked through it, and you may have considered how it works and the way in which it works. There's a lot of different things going on, in the past and the present, and what we are interested in is, what is the highest and best use for that space? How do we think about it? Where has it come from, and where can we take it? Smart growth is about a number of different things, and we've talked about a lot of them here, and so I'll just go very quickly through it, from transit-oriented development to affordable and mixed income housing, to mixed-use development and urban infill, to a conservation of open spaces, and probably for me, most importantly, the integration of public and private planning initiatives. And really what that is it's things like Expo. It's about having this conversation and then trying to take that and apply the lessons that we learn to our own streets. So this is our Market Square. And the questions that were interesting to me, it's like, what makes public space work? And specifically, what makes open space work in small cities? And it's things like our farmers market. We've got one of the longest running open-air farmers market in Virginia, and it's something that really creates a sense of place and community. It's about special events, things like what we saw earlier this morning with Helen and Jim. I mean, those are really incredible and powerful moments, but in order to accommodate them, we need in some way to reclaim our streets, to have an open space where we can provide that forum and for it to occur. It's things like outdoor dining. How do we get people out of their buildings? I was interested in Christian's talk this morning about the human scale of public planning. The streets and open spaces are the arteries that connect buildings and connect the body of a city, if you will. It's about a lot of different things, too. We've got great shops, local food, greenways, street music, public art, performance. These are the things that make open space work. So if you had to crystallize that, for me, what it is it's multiple use, mixed use environments. But what about parking? And this is the perennial concern and question for us in small town, in a small town, where you hear people every day saying, I'd love to come downtown, but there's no place to park. I thought Kennedy Smith's talk yesterday, where she said just memorize the fact and repeat it over and over and over again. We have 3,500 parking spaces within 3 blocks of where you sit right now. I mean, it's a really big number. At no point, in the peak demand, are we out of parking. So I really think that talking about that is important. But even beyond that, parking is important to retail, and so what we tried to do was come up with a plan that would accommodate parking and traffic as we build a more kind of adaptive and flexible urban environment. So this is the beginning of it, and Neil talked yesterday a little bit about Envision Roanoke, and that's really where it started for us. So I think that you can see the progression of a public initiative, even in a small town like ours, take shape out of a conference like this. So, for what Ed has done and what the Expo team has done, it's really an incredible moment for us to kind of help build a project that comes directly out of a conference just like this. In fact, this conference. So this is our plan. We started, talking with engineers and with the city of Roanoke about how do we make a more human-focused, human-scaled public space, and how do we make that possible? And we have gone through just a huge iteration of considerations in terms of how this works, how does traffic work, how does stormwater work, how do we build the coalition of support with the farmers. And this really represents, as of this point, where we have come. And what you see here before you is a variety of uses, from the farmers market, but still allowing traffic to flow through the park, because we think that turnover of parking is really important to a kind of fledgling retail environment. So we've got a long way to go, but I wanted you guys to know that it comes from you guys. And as we take the next step, working with our city officials, I saw the Mayor Bowers was here, and I know that Chris has been here, and talk to them, and more than that, engage with us. We've got a Facebook page, A Better Downtown Roanoke, and through Envision Roanoke. We really need your feedback. We need to know how important this is to you guys as we think of our small cities. Thank you very much.